Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dragyn's Den. It's been a little while, so pull up a seat and select a drink of your choice. My drink tonight is actually some nice Lady Grey tea. So that's a nice lovely little change of pace for myself, but hello! It has been quite a while and I must apologize for that. The last few weeks have been a little intense and I'll provide a quick little update on that in a moment, but the main focus on this shorter, potentially, podcast episode is to share some new direction that I want to take with the podcast. And honestly, it's kind of a thing that motivated me from Toastmasters, so I will talk about Toastmasters again in this episode. So my apologies if I beat a horse with that too much. Ugh, sorry. But it's a pretty big, important part of my life, so I love sharing it with others. But let's go through some quick updates on what is going on with me. Well, I am currently in the process of being a contest chair for a club-leveled international speaking and table topics contest in Toastmasters. What does that all mean? Well, that means currently I have to organize the contest and make sure that everything is run to a professional standard and it meets the requirements in the speech contest rulebook for both contests. And it's a lot of work, it's been a lot of reading, but I've been very fortunate to have an education committee team for my club, and they've saved me so much because the speech contest rulebook, I'll just give you this little insight, is like 28 pages long and it covers all types of contests. So there's like international speech, table topics, evaluation, tall tales, humor, evaluation. So there's a lot of different kinds of contests that can be ran by a club. Our district this year for 2022 is going to be doing both the speech contest and table topics contest together. Hence why they encourage our clubs to do the same thing, to host both. So we are. Now, the speech contest basically is writing a speech that you deliver in 5 to 7 minutes, and it's on any topic and has to be original. It can't be completely derived from historical facts or information or another story, not yours. It has to be really, really original, and you can only have about 25% of your speech that has quotes or from other sources, basically. So it's very strict rules when it comes to speech contests. And table topics is what we call our impromptu speaking portion, and that's where you are asked a question you do not know ahead of time, and you have 1 to 2 minutes to respond to that question, and the judges will be looking for organization, so you have a clear opening, strong body and conclusion, if you talked about the topic, and all these kinds of things. So it's kind of a cool, unique double contest this year. Part of that planning has been going around to find judges. So I have to find 5 voting judges, 1 tiebreaker judge, a chief judge. Then we need to have 2 timers and 2 ballot counters as well, and a Zoom master, because we're going to be doing virtual this year, and the Toastmaster for the event. So the past, literally 2 months, I've been constantly emailing a bunch of people across the district to help fulfill the roles necessary and to meet with them and to explain what is happening, what is planned, all of this stuff. So I've been in constant meetings almost daily at this point since the new year. And so it's been quite a crazy ride. But at this point, I finally have most of those roles fulfilled, and I get to meet pretty soon, actually, at the time of this recording, with my chief judge to go over everything in the contest and things I should know as a new chair, as a new person organizing the contest. So it'll be a nice little meeting to get my head straight and make sure I've done everything correctly, and that's always a nice thing to know if I've done it right or not. So that's what's been sapping my time, is the speech contest and organizing it for my club. The other thing is to help my members in the club that are interested in competing finish the speeches they need to qualify for the contest. So that includes my sister, because she's joined Toastmasters, another couple members too who have a couple speeches left to wrap up. So I've been reaching out to clubs to see if they could perform at those clubs so that they have more space than just our weekly meetings to perform their speeches and to qualify. So a lot of coordinating in regards to that. Then, because it's never done there, my work has been a little chaotic and rough a bit, because since the new year we really have been down to about 3 or 4 of us in the department out of the 5. And so it's been rough because one girl right now currently is away because she got COVID, and she was unvaxxed. She didn't believe in it, so it's really hitting her roughly, and we don't know when she'll come back. And her daughter are both in that same position, which I feel really bad about, because, you know, even if you're angry about people for not being vaccinated or for being vaccinated, whatever your stance is, you never want to hear about someone suffering, right? So I feel bad that that's kind of happening to her and like her family. The other colleague right now that's out right now, as of this week, she has a little baby, and her husband got COVID, and her little baby's really sick. So my heart is breaking for my colleagues, but that also means we're down to 3 of us overnight in my department only. And so some days of the week it's only just myself working, or it's just my other colleague working, or it's both of us going, hey, we're together. Oh, it's going to be an easy night for once. So it's been a bit rough, and they've increased their hours from like 24 hours a week to 36. So that's happened all in this like new year as well, which is really intense. And so my time really has been like going between a bunch of meetings. I've started a mentorship program for my club as well, so doing mentorship matches, contest planning, and working more hours than I thought I would ever work at this location. So it's been quite hectic, so I really apologize for all of this. My gosh, guys, it's been a lot, and I'm hanging in there best I can, of course. One other really potentially big update is I've been signed on to my school board here in the city finally, and nothing official yet. I haven't started teaching or anything like that. I'm currently in the process of going through the activation of me being a supply teacher or substitute teacher. But part of that process is a lot of documentation and a lot of waiting. So I found out that I would be a substitute teacher pretty much the first or second week of the new year, right into the new year. I was like, sweet. And so I was still thinking, oh, in a month or 2 I'll probably be in the classroom helping out my teachers across, my city. Not quite, because I had to go through the activation form, submit that, and I had to sign a declaration form for being fully vaccinated. And now I'm currently waiting for my police check to go through. So it's a really long waiting game. I'm probably not going to be substitute teaching for a little while still, until all of those documents are verified and submitted and good to go. So it's gonna be a process and a half, but it's exciting because then I can start limiting my hours at my other job. I don't think I can fully quit it just yet, because the nature of supply work is it's based on demand and need, and there absolutely is a demand and need right now. Like, I probably could go into their portal they have and take on many assignments and maybe make it full-time for a little while. But when the demand drops, then that's when I have less hours and less teaching opportunities. So it's a little rough, but at least it'll be something. And I can work less overnight hours, which will be a blessing, because I absolutely hate that I go to bed when the sun's just getting up and then I wake up when the sun's going down. It's pretty hard on me, and I'm looking forward to limiting that as much as possible. So that's some really good news, at least for career, and some updates there. So again, if I'm not as consistent as I would like to be for YouTube, I apologize sincerely, because there's a lot going on, and as soon as the contest is over, then I have more breathing room and we can kick things back up into high gear for the channel and get those 2 to 3 videos out a week. Now, let's transition to the new direction for the podcast. So, Toastmasters related. The Toastmasters magazine has held a contest to enter your podcast idea or your current podcast into a contest, and you have to write a summary of what the podcast would be about, your topic, explain why it's important or what you would do with it, and then provide an audio clip. So thankfully I've had a podcast for a while, so I was able to find an audio clip very easily. And this is where I thought about a new direction for the podcast. I think what's important, though, to start with is explaining why I started doing this podcast in the first place. In my life, I don't really have many people who are willing to sit down and listen to me to talk about anything I would like. So my passions, my interests, my hobbies, my career, that kind of thing. I have a few people in my life, and I love them dearly for it, because it gives you that space to finally be like, this is who I am, and this is what I want to be, and what I'm doing, and what I care about. However, my family doesn't give me that time or space. A lot of other friends that I have, like in Discord servers and online, don't really do it either for me. So instead, I created this podcast where I can sit down with you and chat for 30 to 60 minutes on things that I really care about, and can practice my speaking skills, communicate things effectively, hopefully, and to really share a lot of who I am with you and for myself, so I can recognize what I do care about and who I am. I now, in the new year 2022, want to provide that exact same space and experience for other people. So if you are listening right now and you have something you just really want to scream about and talk about for an hour or 30 minutes or just any period of time, I want to bring you onto our podcast. I know friends who are really, really into Naruto, friends that are into Shield Hero. I've got friends that are interested in archaeology and dinosaurs and law and just so many really fascinating interests out there. Figure skating, curling, really cool things. And then I've got other people who have very interesting careers that I would love to bring on here, so that we can have a nice little conversation. It'll be like an interview, but more like a conversation where no judgment on my behalf, and I encourage others to not judge either when they listen to the podcast, but it's that space where I can make someone feel heard, I can make someone feel seen, and that they can express their hobbies in a way that benefits them and can excite them and bring some joy back in their lives and our lives too. That's the direction I want to take. I have a few friends that I'm thinking of immediately that I would love to bring on the podcast, and I might start arranging for those interviews here pretty soon. But I think it's a really important thing that instead of judging people on what they care about or what they love to do, and providing them a space where they can actually express it all and be happy and, are respected for it, is so important. There are too many times in life where we absolutely are like, oh, you like that? Okay, well, I don't care about that. And then the subject changes, or people will just, instead of asking you questions about what's going on, they just talk about themselves instead. And then you end up supporting them and kind of listening to their interests when your interests are never heard. It's all these experiences that I've had in a lot of moments in my life, and even a lot more recently too. And that's not fair. It's not fun. We all are unique. We all watch and care and play and enjoy different things, and that should be celebrated. It should be rewarded in the sense that someone's there listening to you, they enjoy it, they love it, and then you are like, oh, I've learned something from you. That's such a good feeling. It is absolutely amazing. And my friend Spam can relate to this, because I learn a lot of really random things from him all the time, but they are kind of neat. Even if I'm absolutely tired in our calls and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, I think about it later going, oh, that actually is cool. For example, he provided a little tidbit of the Bay Area that there's a city in near San Francisco that there's more dead people than alive people, and I'm like, wait, what? And so that was kind of fun to learn about. And if you want to know more about that too, you can go to his YouTube channel, and he's got a vlog series on the El Camino Royale, which is this really historic route in San Francisco. And yeah, I've learned a lot from Spam about San Francisco lately. But it's things like that would be really cool. He could come on the podcast and talk about like a lot of the things he's learned about San Francisco. He loves travel and transportation and technology, and it'd be really cool for someone to come on the podcast and just openly talk about why they love these things and teach us something at the same time, or even just make us aware of it too. Wouldn't that be nice? And I know some of you out there probably are like, that would be really great to have someone sit there and be like, so tell me more about why you care about the world's largest dinosaur. Why is that something you really, really like and are interested about? Or even like, again, anime. I have so many friends who love anime. I could bring on the podcast and be like, so, you are an avid lover of the character, I always butcher their name wrong, so Kayla, I'm very sorry, but Neji, why do you care about Neji so much from Naruto? Or whatever anime that character is from. I'm so sorry. I don't know anything. But hey, Kayla, you could come on the podcast and talk more about that. Like, there's so many people I know out there that love really cool things that I never got into, but it'd be kind of neat to hear why they got into it. So that is the direction I want to take with this podcast, and I'm very excited for it because I get to hang out with more people, very cool people too, and I can actually extend this past to my online friends and my community. I can bring people in from my Toastmasters family. I can bring in people from some of my networking that I've done on LinkedIn. There are some really cool people out there that would be absolutely fascinating to listen to, and I can really expand this to just more than me yammering on about random stuff like Toastmasters all the time. I can bring in other people and they can share what they are passionate about and care about. And in this space, there will be no judgments. There will be no boredom with it. There will be no disinterest. There will be pure, absolute fascination with whatever anyone brings to this podcast. And I think that's important. I was able to bring and share a lot about myself last year in the podcast. And I'll definitely keep going with some of these things because I'm having more interest lately in a couple of unique ways and unique things. And of course, there'll still be these one-offs where I'm just by myself rambling away about a topic and project. But then to vary it up every once in a while with a guest. And you can hear what makes them happy and what brings joy into their lives. And it's not just for me and it's not just for views. I really am genuinely doing this so that people can feel heard, they can feel respected, and that they have a space to actually say what they love and what they enjoy. And that's so important to me as someone who hasn't had that a lot in her life. So I wanted to provide this update with everyone here, saying that these are the new directions I want to take. And for those listening, if you've got a really cool interest or hobby or something you want to talk about, please reach out to me. Like, you can contact me on Twitter. You can contact me with Twitter or even in the comment section below, of course. And I would love to connect with you and we can get things going because I want to learn more about the world and what makes people happy, and who doesn't want to hear about someone being happy? I think it'll be a very fun project to take on. Even if I don't win this contest, by the way, like, that doesn't matter to me too much. But what matters to me is that I now have this idea and I want to run with it. I want to do it. And if you want to be a part of this, but let me know, because it's nice to have this idea, but then if I don't have anybody on the show with me, then that idea goes bye-bye. So yeah, that's the new direction I want to take. Some updates about my life as well. A very short little podcast episode today, but only because I'm in the works of planning this out and kind of fleshing ideas out. So that's where we are. That's where we are at right now, currently. And I'm looking forward to bringing in a lot of really interesting people and for you to meet a lot of interesting people as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I'm really looking forward to it. I forgot one last update. I will quickly share this here at the end while I wrap up, because I do need to go here right away for a meeting at the time of this recording. I'm also doing ExtraLife again for the third year, so I have that donation link down below in the description. So if you are interested in supporting kids who need a variety of treatments, whether it's from injuries to illness to other more serious reasons or even less serious reasons, please consider donating to ExtraLife today. My local hospital here in my city is part of the Children's Miracle Network, and I get to actually fundraise for a local hospital in a local city, and it's very important to me to help these kids out, because the Solary Hospital that I've been to as a kid many times for various reasons, and my little brother's been there too for a lot of other reasons recently. It's such a great way to give back and to say thank you for helping me and like literally saving my life when I got pneumonia when I was a kid. So that's a long story, but it's something really important to me. In my first year, we raised over $300. My second year, we hit $1,000, basically right on the nose. And this year, I would love to try to raise another $1,000. So if you've got the spare funds and you want to help kids feel better, then please donate. It would be a wonderful way to help our next generation be healthy so that they can hopefully change the world for the better. That is everything, my lovelies. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this little short one-off, and I look forward to going on this new journey and this new direction with all of you. Take care, everyone, and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.